Should Spurs be looking to trigger the release clause in the summer and sign Timo Werner? In the January transfer window, Spurs agreed a deal with RB Leipzig for the signing of Timo Werner on loan for the remainder of the season, with a rumoured buy option of £15 million. Now, this is a cut price compared to the €50 million that Chelsea spent on him only a few years prior, before they lost him for roughly €30 million only a season and a half later. And Werner didn't exactly hit the ground running during his time at Chelsea, with 40 goals and assists in 89 games for the club, mostly playing as a striker as well. But could a return to Premier League action be the key to unlocking the real Werner? Back in 2019, Timo Werner was showing the world the player he was destined to be, playing at RB Leipzig in a two-striker formation managed by none other than Julian Nagelsmann. Timo Werner was playing on the left of Poulsen in a season where RB Leipzig finished an impressive third place in the Bundesliga, and Timo Werner managed to pick up a pretty tally of 28 goals and 8 assists in the Bundesliga season alone. Now, this is a long stretch of the imagination from the goal threat he's been so far under Ange Postecoglou at Spurs, but could Ange be the key to unlocking the Timo Werner that we once knew? Now, let's take it back a couple weeks and have a little look at Timo Werner's gameplay against Luton, shall we? If we start off by taking a little look at the average positions from that Luton game, we can first of all see just how much of our play we seem to focus down the right-hand side of the pitch, but more importantly, how much space that opens up on the left-hand side for us to create a few chances and really use that pace to burn opposition players. Also, when looking at this, keep in mind how much Timo Werner likes to get into those more advanced positions, with his average position on the pitch being so much higher than any other Spurs player. And one piece of play that perfectly encapsulates what Timo Werner does best is this chance right here. Here we see Kulusevski pick out a pinpoint pass from inside of our own half all the way up to find Timo Werner in the final third and leave him one-on-one with Kabore. Kabore, being the young, talented and quick defender that he is, has the ability to keep up pace with Timo Werner, but Werner does have the one thing that every Postecoglou system needs to have to be able to thrive, and that is very simply a winger who can beat his man. He looks to get a shot away and takes the ball towards the centre of the box, but his quick thinking and fast feet allow him to fake it, peel around the side of Kabore, where unfortunately he misses the target and his shot goes wide. And I know this is a frustration that a lot of Spurs fans have been feeling when it comes to Werner's finishing ability. He's not up to the same scratch that we've been so accustomed to over these last few years, watching a player like Son finish anything that comes his way off that same left-hand side. However, Werner's attributes of his speed and being able to pick out those pinpoint passes into the box suit a Postecoglou system perfectly, and I believe that Ange would be the best man to get a tune out of Timo. He has spent most of his career playing as a striker in a two-man partnership system, but also has experience playing on the left-hand side both internationally and at club level, and he seems more than comfortable being able to do exactly that in this current system. Now, these two pages here show us the stats per 90 of two players across the Premier League so far this season. Or do they? These pages here are actually showcasing the stats from one certain Timo Werner. One of these pages show his stats per 90 compared to other wingers across the top 5 leagues, meanwhile the other compares those same stats to forwards. Now, I won't lie to you, his stats compared to other forwards in the top 5 leagues does paint a very pretty picture. However, we're going to ignore that one entirely and instead focus on his stats compared to wingers and attacking midfielders, since that's exactly where we see him playing in this current Postecoglou system. And now, one of the first stats that jumps right out to me here when looking at these pages, and let me get this right here, is his non-penalty XG per 90 compared to other wingers in the top 5 leagues sit in the 99th percentile. And that is an extremely impressive stat considering he's still adapting to the system he's currently playing in, and more importantly dealing with a lot of criticism while doing so. And sticking to his goal threat stats, he's able to get off 3.49 shots per 90 minutes, which puts him in the 94th percentile compared to other wingers and attacking midfielders in the top 5 leagues. And I know he isn't exactly finishing all of those chances with only 2 Premier League goals to his name so far this season, but he's consistently getting himself in good goal scoring positions, which is always encouraging to see. It's still me here, just from the future this time, and just mentioning a quick page I forgot to bring up the other day in the video when it comes to Timo Werner's 2019-2020 Bundesliga stats. Obviously, at this time, Timo Werner was playing as a striker in the Bundesliga, so we've gone ahead and compared his stats to other forwards in the top 5 leagues in the same 2019-2020 season. And as a Spurs fan, it's surprising to see just how impressive he was in front of goal at this time, with every single stat when it comes to goal scoring ability except from assists being in the 92nd or higher percentile across the top 5 leagues. And even moving further down the page from his attacking threat, which in itself is incredibly impressive, when it comes to his progressive play, especially playing as a striker at this point, it almost gives you the same stats you'd expect to see of a winger. But most importantly, this helps to highlight why Timo Werner could be the perfect left winger option in an Ange Postecoglou system. With both his attacking and progressive stats being so impressive to look at as a striker, you can only hope he's able to reflect some of those same attributes on that left wing role. And now let's compare him to another player that Spurs have been linked to over the last few months, and one that Spurs fans are very excited by, Pedro Neto. And looking at these two side by side, Timo Werner is getting almost 0.5 goals per 90, averaging out at almost a goal every other game, and comparing that to Pedro Neto's 0.19 goals per 90 minutes, it almost seems too good to be true. But we do, however, know that Neto's game doesn't always rely on his finishing ability, with setting up goals being where he really thrives. Neto is averaging 0.54 assists per 90 compared to Werner's 0.24 in that same stat. But when it comes to Postecoglou's system, what is more key? Throughout Ange's management career, he's had an eye for a winger who can score a goal. More often than not, his strikers in the system have been used as bait runners to take defenders out of the game, clear them into positions to open up the space on the sides for wingers to run into and finish. And so far this season, with both Son and Richarlison more often than not playing through the centre and both coming away with very impressive goal scoring tallies, if Timo can add that goal scoring ability into his game, then he could be the perfect winger for this system. So back to the reason that we're making this video, should Spurs sign Timo Werner? My simple answer is a yes. I believe he provides something really exciting down that left-hand side, with his pace and passing attributes being a real benefit to the team and the way we play. However, if he can just find his shooting boots a little bit more often, I think he could be a real difference maker to this Spurs system. And I also think that for £15 million, it's a good price for a player of that calibre. I know that we should and also probably could be aiming a little bit higher, but I wouldn't be opposed by any means if Timo Werner wanted to stick around and fight for a spot in that starting 11, even if we were to go ahead and sign another player to try and fill that same position. But please do let me know down below what you think. Should we sign Timo Werner? Should we cut and run in the summer and move on to bigger and better things? You have your say. Aside from that, thank you for watching. I've been Kai, this has been the Spurs Support, and I will catch you again soon.